When Night Manager, the first episodes that came out, did extremely well for each one of you. When you signed this, what did you see in the role? Were you completely comfortable, like being a part of it?
What really made it the most grounded me to this character or to this project was a meeting with the director Sandeep Modi. Then to find that Anil sir, Aditya, who I thought were great.
Silence shots are so sometimes boring on the sets.
Yeah.
Do you know it's working?
I'm not too hell bent on, like I have to be this overnight diva star. I don't feel that attachment. I want to have a meaningful long career where I get to do a variety, where I get to do many characters and I want to do them well. Hi, I'm Sobhita Dhulipala and you're watching this interview with Rohit Khilnani on Bollywood Hungama.
Sobhita, welcome to Bollywood Hungama.
Thank you.
Sobhita, I've been going through a lot of your interviews, and I think with every interview that I watch, I get to know a little bit more about you. How comfortable are you giving out more to your fans about yourself and your past, where you come from?
I think it's nice for me to be able to share my roots and my background because that is truly the anchor.
Yeah.
To my personality. But having said that, I think it's nice, like for people who are not in the creative field.
Right.
I guess that's why TikTok or Instagram, these things are huge because when people do not have a creative outlet, these platforms become places where they can release that, be it dancing, singing, whatever. But as actors, I think because we have films as a medium to express, to release creatively, I think I would always like for people to discover me first there, and to share a little bit about my life or my opinions, is to just give them a little insight to round off that impression, because sometimes maybe, like how we were just speaking before the interview started, I think like after Made in Heaven, I think there was this presumption that, oh, she's like this diva. But I was not like that in real life. I'm like this, like trembling, like awkward thing. So I think interviews sometimes give a slightly well-rounded idea of how someone is, as opposed to just the film influenced.
Right. This. So you were this girl who was shy, who was not in Bombay. Today, you're this popular film actor. We're doing this interview. How much of you have changed? Like, do you see a drastic change when you see yourself?
From school to now, yes. I think in school I was, like school or my earlier years, I was awkward and very conscious. But today I think I'm much more balanced, and I don't put too much. Don't give too much attention just in how people perceive me. I'm not so invested in trying to create and curate that image that they should think like this about me.
But there was a time like that, right? Suppose when, like you were saying, when you were in college, you wanted to be cool. And
because when I was in college, I moved to Mumbai just then after my schooling, and I was such a misfit in my college because I was just awkward and I didn't belong and new to the city, and I was on my own, so I was intimidated, and I really wanted to be a part of it, to fit in, and I wanted people to think I was cool. I mean, when I look back, there's a certain innocence to it. And I remember, like, say, being Miss India or being a model, then I was aware of how there's a judgment against girls who come from there, because they think they must just be, it's about like good looks and they can't perform. So that judgment made me want to make choices where I had scope for performance, because I wanted to be respected for my work and my merit. So some of my, I guess, those judgments have done good to me, but I think today I'm in a place where I'm not as attached to perception. I'm a little more neutral.
But do you where you come from? Like you said, you came to Mumbai, shifted to Kandivali, did your bus journey, did the whole grind when it comes to Bombay. Are you glad you did all that?
Absolutely. The the 3 years I lived in Kandivali, the few years in Andheri, or wherever in the city, a college in town, South Bombay, and these names for people who are watching this interview outside of Mumbai, these are culturally very, very different spheres with a very different kind of personality. So I think that all the time spent in local trains and public buses, and it was amazing. I mean, when one looks at me today, they might not know the journey that I've had. They see an actor who's comfortably in her high heels sipping on juice and sharing opinions, but what has gone into the building of this moment is steep, and it's personal.
Right. When you were doing that, your parents wanted that for you all. They supported you through that.
My parents have been passive, but because I have no connection to the film industry in any way. As my parents, despite a large age gap, they have been very supportive. Like if I wanted to be an astronomer, if I wanted to be an actor, a sports person, a CA, whatever, they would have encouraged me. But it was very important for my parents that I am accountable to the choices I make. I can't. They taught me the importance of being responsible, of giving me and my young sister, freedom. I'm giving you freedom because I trust you to be responsible and to take care of it. And if things go wrong, you grow from it. You're on your own. Learn.
Amazing.
And that attitude has really had a very positive impact on my personality. So
that's so amazing what they have done for you. And now, obviously, you've made them very proud. Do they go around telling their friends? And of course, people must be watching you and coming to and telling them, right? And we saw.
I mean, to be honest, my family, both my mother's side and father's side, it's very academically driven, and they have not consumed much cinema in general. Just the one-off, mad successful film, maybe once or twice a year we'd go to the theatre and watch. So for them to know that I have gone into this field, it's just very surprising, and they don't know much. A lot of my relatives, they don't know.
Oh really? Even relatives, cousins and all?
Some of the cousins, they know, but they're not too into the film, or they don't even consume that much cinema. So, but it's nice. I like it. Yeah. No one's. You go, pick up, get the chair, it's very normal.
Very normal family. Right. Now of course, you're at a time when Night Manager, the first episodes that came out, did extremely well for each one of you. When you signed this, what did what was in for you? Like, what did you see in the role? Were you completely comfortable, like, being a part of it? What was in for you?
I had been a part of this project when the casting scenario was different. There were other names in this thing, and I had known about John le Carré's book, The Night Manager, and I had known about the English show, which was super cool. I had loved the idea of this. Like, I love watching action. I love the style of it as a consumer, and I felt like I would get a chance to be a part of such a palette. And then to find that Anil sir, Aditya, who I thought were great, for their parts. So it was fun, and I think what really made it the most grounded me to this character or to this project was a meeting with the director Sandeep Modi when I was still I hadn't signed the papers, and I was asking him, do you think there's enough scope for performance for me, because I would really like to give, but is there room for me? And he's like, he was blunt enough to tell me that it's either you or I'll just cast a complete newcomer. There's no one else. I can only see you. That sort of faith really empowers you, and you feel so motivated that you want to give your 100%, that here is someone who believes in my merit, and I'm going to give my best.
Nice. What do you like about this character, about this girl? She's this player, she's super hot, playing games. What do you like about her?
And actor gets on a piece of paper, the dialogues, it's the work of the writer and the director. It's their merit. What I can bring as an actor is meaning to silences. And there were plenty with Kaveri.
Wow, nice. You really made it your own.
I think silences can speak much more than dialogue. I was just giving this analogy in another interview some time ago. It's like when you're walking up or down the stairs and you're moving ahead, that's emotion. And your dialogue is like the railing. You don't need it unless you're losing your way.
That's very interesting.
So I felt like with Kaveri, I had the chance to be communicating through silences, and with silences you can layer. I enjoyed that, honestly. Yes.
Did you know that these silences, I mean, when you're doing it, it's so different, right? Today, we know it's working and it's great. Did you, when you're doing it, silence shots are so sometimes boring on the sets.
Yeah.
Do you know it's working and it'll have that kind of impact?
No, but you still do it.
Yeah.
Like when they're shooting, say we are talking and you are speaking, and I still have to be completely in character and respond both to what you're saying and how it's making me feel. I have to carry that. Whether they choose to use the shot of me in the edit or not is the editor and director's call. But I have to bring meaning to that silent moment of mine. And I think from the beginning, as I didn't really have characters that were very large in their screen time. So it taught me to use the tidbits to bring punch into that.
There's so much focus into screen time. Everybody who signs the thing, you want to know mera kitna bada role hai, kitna lamba role hai. Is this on your mind when you sign something?
I think it would be nice to have more screen time, because you get a chance to show more of your character. And more character means people are more attached or interested or involved in that arc. But I think I've had a career where some places I got the chance to frontline a show. I got a part which is very small in a very a crowded talent pool, like a PS. I've been a part of different kinds of environments. And I like it all.
It's all good. Nice.
I think variety is something all actors thrive on.
And you learn from each of these. Right?
Absolutely. And I'm not too hell bent on, I have to be this overnight diva star. I don't feel that attachment. I want to have a meaningful long career where I get to do a variety, where I get to do many characters, and I want to do them well. I want them to make you feel something. That's the endeavor.
Do you think of that, what should my filmography look like? Do you think of that, and how much of that is actually in your hands?
I think of that. I romanticize it. Sometimes on a low day, I would go to say an IMDb or wherever. And I see all the projects I've done. And at each time, in each year, I was a completely different person with a complete different set of judgments, complete different set of aspirations. And I see how that has changed, and largely most of the work in the last few years has resonated with the people who are audiences for that type of a project. So somewhere it makes me feel like, okay, I am connected to people and what they want to watch. So my choices are grounded. And can I control it? I can't control what project I get, but I can control what I choose to do.
Choose to do out of those.
I don't have someone giving me a platter of films who says, a film has tanked, no worries, here's another. I don't have that luxury, but I can choose which project to do out of the few that I get and shape accordingly.
That luxury of just being attached to one studio, could be anyone, big, small and all that. You say, I don't have that. Do you want that?
I don't understand it because I don't know it. I've never had it. So I don't know. I mean, I'd love to be seen as an asset to a studio that sees me in a variety of roles that they make. I guess there's a certain loyalty to each other they have. I've not experienced that, so I don't know. But there are so many so many filmmakers I want to work with.
Yeah.
So I think more of my attention goes there.
Is there.
Yeah.
Right. Lastly, in your character, she's a go-getter. She's doing what she feels is the need of the hour. How much of you is in the character? How similar? Is there any similarity between you and the character you play?
Kaveri of the Night Manager, I think, is a very, very emotional creature, and I don't know.
Are not?
I am,
Yeah.
and I think that I can cry like that. I am now aware that my outer physicality does not represent my interior landscape,
Right.
which is very soft and very sensitive.
Right.
But I've accepted it, that
Okay.
I look in a way that does not make people see that there's a sensitivity inside. And I think somewhere that's a common thread between me and Kaveri.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, I think Kaveri lacks grit.
Okay.
But where she lacks grit, she has loyalty.
Right.
And she has an inherent, I think, goodness
Mm-hmm.
that she cannot always employ.
Right.
So those things I really enjoyed.
Very interesting. That's why it makes such an interesting character. Lastly, for your fans and followers, so this is next. What else will we see you in this year?
I'm so excited to say this.
Yes.
Part 2 of The Night Manager is something I've been super kicked about,
Yes.
because more of my character fleshes out,
Yeah.
and the arc is quite exciting.
Okay.
There's the Made in Heaven
Yes.
season 2. There's Monkey Man, my
Yes.
first Hollywood project.
Yes.
And there's another film that they're going to announce soon. So it looks like a nice year ahead.
Exciting year. And
Yeah.
we are very happy you're getting such good work to do.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sobhita Dhulipala, and you're watching this interview with Rohit Khilnani on Bollywood Hungama.